Imagine living in a world where there's no air to breathe. Most creatures would struggle, but some animals are doing just fine, and they're living deep in the ocean. These incredible creatures have found ways to survive without oxygen in places where most life would suffocate. Let's take a dive into these mysterious underwater worlds to explore how life manages to survive in the harshest, oxygen-free environments on Earth. Oxygen-deprived environments might sound like they should be lifeless, but surprisingly, this is not the case. Across the globe, in areas like the Mediterranean Sea, there are vast salt-filled lakes that are so dense with brine that they don't mix with the oxygen-rich waters above. These places are often referred to as dead zones, where no oxygen is available, yet life is flourishing. In fact, scientists have made an astonishing discovery. Tiny creatures known as loricifera, which were recently uncovered in these oxygen-free zones, have managed to survive and even reproduce. These remarkable animals have developed a special organelle called a hydrogenosome. This organelle helps them generate energy without the need for oxygen. It's as if they found an alternative power source, a backup plan when oxygen can't be used. Loricifera are redefining what we know about biology, showing that even in the most extreme oxygen-deprived environments, life finds a way. While the loricifera is certainly extraordinary, it's far from the only example of life that survives in low oxygen or even oxygen-free waters. Let's meet some of the most extraordinary creatures that have learned to adapt to the harshest environments on Earth. In the Gulf of California, scientists discovered a remarkable species of fish that can survive in water with almost no oxygen. These fish have developed a series of adaptations that allow them to thrive in an environment that would be lethal to most other marine species. They've effectively learned how to live in what could be considered a vacuum of oxygen, showing the resilience of life even in the most extreme conditions. Giant tube worms are one of the most famous examples of life near hydrothermal vents in the ocean's deep, where oxygen is all but absent. These worms don't rely on oxygen for survival. Instead, they form a symbiotic relationship with bacteria that don't need oxygen to live. These bacteria utilize a process called chemosynthesis, where they convert sulfur compounds into energy. The tube worms then use this energy to thrive in the pitch-black depths of the ocean, showing that life can adapt to even the harshest conditions. Mudskippers are fascinating creatures because they defy the traditional expectations of fish. They can survive both on land and in oxygen-poor waters. These amphibious creatures have a unique ability to breathe through their skin and the lining of their mouths, extracting oxygen from the mud or even the air. Mudskippers have shown the world that fish don't always need to live underwater to thrive, and their survival tactics have expanded our understanding of life on the edge between two worlds. These land and water creatures are known for their ability to survive in stagnant pools where oxygen levels are extremely low. When oxygen is scarce, spotted salamanders can go into a state of dormancy. In this state, their metabolism slows dramatically, conserving energy until oxygen levels rise again. By utilizing stored energy reserves, they can go without oxygen for extended periods, effectively hibernating through difficult times. Sea cucumbers are another example of life thriving in oxygen-poor environments. These creatures have developed the ability to lower their metabolic rate and rely on anaerobic pathways to produce energy. It's almost like switching to a backup power generator when the primary one runs out. By adapting to these extreme conditions, sea cucumbers prove that even in the darkest, most inhospitable environments, life can endure. Living near hydrothermal vents, deep-sea mussels don't depend on oxygen for their survival. Instead, they engage in a symbiotic relationship with bacteria that can process sulfur to generate energy. These mussels are like living factories, hosting bacteria inside their bodies that act as energy producers. It's a remarkable adaptation to life in one of the most extreme and oxygen-deprived environments on Earth. Oxygen is essential for most life forms on Earth, but these incredible creatures have developed alternative methods for energy production in environments where oxygen is scarce. When oxygen levels drop, many of these animals switch to processes like fermentation or use specialized bacteria to do the work that oxygen normally does in the body. In areas where oxygen is at a premium, creatures must conserve energy to survive. This means slowing down their metabolism and reducing their need for food and oxygen. It's much like turning off unnecessary appliances to save energy in your home. By slowing down and making the most of every resource, these animals can go without oxygen for far longer than most would ever expect. These incredible discoveries are not just fascinating because they showcase life's ability to adapt. They're also important for understanding the history of life on Earth. Before oxygen became abundant in our atmosphere, life likely existed in environments much like these, relying on alternative energy sources. The organisms living in these oxygen-free zones provide us with a glimpse into the Earth's past, offering insight into how life may have first developed when oxygen was not readily available. Moreover, studying these creatures has broader implications beyond Earth. If life can survive in such extreme conditions on our planet, it opens up the possibility that life could exist on other planets with very different atmospheres and environmental conditions. If life can survive in Earth's dead zones, who's to say what might be thriving on distant planets with environments unlike anything we know? The deep ocean is a world full of surprises, and it's continually revealing new secrets to us. Whether it's a tiny loricifera surviving under oxygen-free waters or deep-sea fish that thrive in near-vacuum conditions, these creatures demonstrate just how adaptable and resilient life can be. Life doesn't always follow the rules. It finds ways to survive, no matter how impossible the conditions may seem. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the ocean and the depths of the Earth, we're likely to uncover even more examples of life thriving against all odds. These amazing creatures are a reminder that life can adapt, survive, and thrive in the most extreme environments, where oxygen is a distant memory and survival seems impossible. So, next time you think life requires oxygen, remember the extraordinary creatures that are proving us all wrong, showing that life finds a way, even in the most unlikely of places.